Good evening and salutations, my Jewish friends. We're going to start off with Christina. We're going to start off with Christina because I got three letters that I just cannot get out of my head. W, T, F. So, Christina's in the bar. She smells something. She touches the floor, whatever, realizes there's liquid. There's gas. Right? Somebody throws a mocktail in there, whatever, right? Stuff starts going in flames. Okay. So it takes her a little bit to react. Okay, that's fine. She gets the fire extinguisher and she can't put out the fire. I think the way that they did the gasoline, it was meant was like you couldn't just take that out with a simple fire extinguisher. Maybe, I don't know. Marco is driving to go see Natalia. He's talking to Lucas and he sees a fire, so he runs inside, right? She's all like, "Help! Help!" In my head, I'm like, um, there's a back door though, right? Like, there's a back door. Why are we just standing here? So she sees Marco, and she's like, "Help! Help! Help!" So Marco, he comes back in like with like a cloth or whatever to like get inside, and he gets her. He's like, "Is anybody else in here?" She's like, "No." They look, and they realize they can't go through the front door. And then Christina's like, "There's a back entrance." Let me get this straight. You stand there like you're just clueless. You see Marco. Marco has to run inside a burning building. And then you're like, "Oh, there's a back door." You must got that man burnt alive because of your stupidity. I'm literally just like, okay, let me explain something. I'm watching this, going to the supermarket. When I saw that, I was like, hold on. Phone back in my pocket. Then you walking out of the shop because I was like, no. No, 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 no. She did not just get this man nearly burnt alive because she was too. We're gonna move on. That's we just gonna move on. So Anna, well, first the guy's trying to get into Natalia's room, knock on the door. Anna and Chase get in there. Eventually, they see her. They bring her to GH. Isaiah and Liz try to save her. No good. She would. Granted, I knew that was coming for a while, and for some odd reason, well, I follow Michael Fairman, so he already posted that she was, she was excellent today. Oops. But of course, I get home and I see it. I'm like, okay. Sunny eventually gets there. Molly, well, before Molly, Sunny and Jason are sitting there talking about Italian. Like, yo, why is she not want to play? What's going on? What's up with that? They get the call that there's a fire. They get down there, and Jason's like, what are you doing here? To Marco. Christina explains the whole thing, and she pretty much is like, Marco saved my life because I didn't know what to do. I had no clue. Natalia and Marco's like, listen, I was driving, to try to see my mother, whatever. He explains the whole thing, and he's like, can I go to the hospital? I mean, can I go to the hotel? So he's like, you're not going anywhere. This man saved your idiotic daughter from a burning building, and you want to sit there and talk to him like that and tell him he's not going anywhere? Dante, what are you doing? Why are you letting your dad sit there and call the shots? I don't understand that. I thought you were in charge of this whole thing, not Pop Dukes. Like, what are we doing? Eventually, they let Marco go, and one of the things where they're looking at Anna and Chase are looking into the room. They're like, either this was self-inflicted, like she OD'd, or this was made to look like it. And they talk about a guy who was leaving the hotel and how they got to get footage of him. Right? They got to get the footage from the security and everything. Um, they get down to the hospital. Marco gets down there. And Lucas, and just as Lucas is about to sit there and tell Marco about his mother, Anna gets in. The minute that Anna mentions his mother, whatever, he has to go in the room and see his mother dead body, and that was a lot. Michael and eventually Carly are having PTSD. You see, Michael isn't remembering flashbacks of you know um, the accident, which of course was played by Chad Duell. So I was like, man, this is gonna be very interesting how to use this whole camera angle or whatever. Like, am I gonna be able to sit there and spot Chad Duell or somebody that looks close to Chad Duell or whatever? Because let's be honest, it would have made much more sense if his burns were so bad that they had to sit there and do reconstructive surgery. Right? Like that would have made sense. But they didn't go with that because they thought that Chad Duell was coming back. He ain't coming back. It is what it is. Rory's doing amazing. But he's not there talking about that with Sasha. Jack came over. See, Jack was over and he was, talking to Jocelyn like, oh, I was not there testing you to sit there and something awareness. I'm like, yeah, okay, Jack, whatever. Jocelyn says something along the lines of, did you come here to see me? Because that could have been done at the office. Or did you come in hoping to bump into my mother? And Jack is like, listen, you know, you don't get to question me, outside of whatever I do, whatever. I'm like, that's Jocelyn's mom. Like who I see or whatever is my business sort of thing. Like, back off. And Jocelyn's like, okay, cool. So does your spirits know that, you're dating an agent's mother? Do they know that? No? Anyway, she leaves, gives Jack and Carly some time just to talk or whatever, and that's, when she's talking about the PTSD. Alexis is over Sitwell's place, just pretty much being a pain in the ass, going over contracts or whatever that Marco went over. Just annoying the hell out of Sitwell. Until she found out about the fire. So she gets down there, and she's like, this is your fault, son. She's like, I'm not putting another daughter in the ground. And the thing is, as some people may be annoyed by that scene, because I'm not gonna lie, it did go on for a long period of time. You're wrong. Yeah, Sitwell just sit there and say, I told you to make sure that the building was clear before you set it on fire. You know it's gonna be hell to pay if Sonny finds out. But the thing is, Sitwell targeted that building because of Sonny. So she wasn't wrong in anything that she ranted about. She was not wrong. Um, they're gonna, I feel like they're gonna find a guy. They're gonna realize he works for Sonny, and you know, they're gonna sit there and frame Sonny for it. Maybe Sonny made it look like an OD. Who knows? Right? I saw the previews. You had Sonny's not there saying, "Well, if Marco gets caught in the crossfire, so be it." Like, Marco saved your Marco saved your daughter's life, and that's how you're gonna sit there and repay him. Uh, that's pretty much. There were some other scenes like Cody taking Molly down there. Molly and Sasha Smith, they're talking about both of them losing children. Liam and I forgot that damn child's name. I know Irene or Adela, whatever they want to sit there and call that baby's name. That happens. You know, listen, I get why Sasha was sitting talking to Michael and just kind of, you know, having him talk about his pain medication and everything, but Sasha, you need to sit there and bring up the fact that somebody is messing around with that damn child. That they're turning the child around, they're changing his clothes, they're changing her clothes, they're doing stuff to the nursery. Like, y'all gotta get on the same page about that because that's already been freaking you out. And this happened more than once. Like, what are we doing about that? Because I feel like that should be something that should be done ASAP. Wow. Well, at least Christina did sit there and thank Marco. So, that was good. I feel like that's pretty much about it for the most part. That's the general gist of the episode. Like I said, there was a little stuff with Carly and Sasha, um, but there was nothing where it's like you can't like watch it or watch a scene from it or whatever. That is the general gist of the episode. If I miss anything, write it in the comment section below. I'm going to be doing a live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. I'll sit there and talk about all 5 of the shows, even though Beyond the Gates is new. But if people want to talk about that, we can talk about that as well as the other 4, you know what they are. And I'll see you in the next video.